Hey class, it's Mrs. Bond, and I decided to try this video way of giving you the lesson even while I'm gone. So we'll try it, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So first of all, you should be at the carpet or at your seat that you normally sit at when we do a whole group lesson, and you should have out your math journal, and I would like for you to turn it to page 80. Turn your math journal to page 80, yes. Stop talking, those of you that are talking. Okay. It's really funny because you can see a video of me, but I can't see what I look like, so it's just going to be a surprise and it feels really awkward. Anyway, make sure you're paying attention, and I will try to be as quick as possible as we go through this. Today, we are going to be comparing and ordering fractions on a number line. So if you're thinking about your target, which I believe would be that way, that is what your target is. So let's look at our math message. Ida, Nathan, and Janice were running at track practice. After 12 minutes, Ida had run 1.5 miles, Nathan had run 3.5 miles, and Janice had run 3/4 mile. Mark the number line below to show where each number was after 12 minutes. Be as precise as you can. Label each mark with a runner's name. Okay, well, normally I would tell you turn and talk to your neighbor, label it, but we are just going to do it together. So get your pencil, make sure you're ready to roll, and we're going to mark together. So let's look. First is 1.5. Well, this is kind of easy because, and that's Ida. So here's our 1, and if we're going to look for half, we're going to go halfway between 1 and 2, and you're just going to like ballpark it, and we're going to label, there's my 1.5, and that is Ida. Okay, so next, hold on, you write yours, I'll write mine. Not using a stylus because it's my computer, so. Okay. Next, Nathan had run 3.5 miles. So, 3.5 miles, yes. So, what are we going to do here? We are going to break up our number line into halves. So, go ahead, take out your pencil, and you are going to put a little, see it? Woo, see my cursor? Okay. You're going to mark halfway between 0 and 1. There's a half. We know that 1 is equal to 2 halves. Uh-oh. Here we go. Oh, no. Okay. Ignore. Oh, my. Whoa. You guys, I might have discovered something. Wait a minute. Okay. 2 halves. That should say 2 halves. And this should say, then we would have, this would be 3 halves. Okay, so, well, that's crazy. Nathan also was at this distance after 12 minutes. So we're going to rewrite our 3 halves up here, and you're going to label yours Nathan. We're going to ignore my scribbles down there. Nathan. Okay, yeah, I know. I'm trying. Okay. Oh, you know what would be genius? I'm learning this. Pop her down. Okay. Look at how smart that is. Should have done that last time. Okay. All these things I'm learning. Next, Janice had run 3/4 mile. So we haven't already marked our 3/4 mile, so we're going to go ahead and mark that. I'm going to pick a different color since we're going with a different set of measurement. And we know that 1/4 is about halfway between 0 and 1/2. So there's our 1/4, there's our 2/4, there's our 3/4. So we can label here 3/4, and that is Janice. Label her. Okay? Now, give you a second to catch up. Yours better look neater than mine since it looks sort of like scribbles. Okay, next says, oh, hold on. Here we go. Oh, we already did that. Sorry. Same thing. Moving on. There we go. There's our sample answer, but let's go on to the next part of the page. Whoop. Gary ran 1 2/3 miles and Lena ran 7/6 mile. Who ran farther? Use the number lines below to help you answer the question. Divide this number line to show thirds, label each tick mark, then place a dot at 1 2/3. Now, I'm going to be real with you. I don't want to start all over, but kind of feel like I should have been able to show you that without showing you the answers. So I'm going to try it. Oh, here we go. Yep. Okay, so let's try this one. Gary ran 1 2/3. We already read it. First divide it into thirds, then label each tick mark, then place a dot at 1 2/3. Okay, so let's label it into thirds. I'm going to pick a color. I'm going to pick red. So thirds, you're just going to kind of eyeball it. It's okay that you're not perfect, but you're going to get it close. Okay. Now we're going to label each tick mark. So we're going to label this is 1/3. This is 2/3. You should be doing this too. I see you back there talking. Stop talking. Mr. Hale, get them. Okay. 2/3, 3/3. I don't know how these YouTube people like talk to themselves all day. It's very odd. Okay. 4/3, 5/3, and then 2 is the same as 6/3. It says then place a dot at 1 2/3. Well, here's our 1, and then 1/3 and 1 2/3. So here's our dot at 1 2/3. Okay, so there's our first. That's Gary. 1 2/3 is Gary. Next, divide this number line to show 6. Okay, think about this for a minute. If we have thirds, how am I going to get from thirds to 6? Are you thinking? Yes, you're right. We're going to divide them in half. So here we've got 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, 6/6. Now, if you want to check yourself, think about this. The 4/6 landed on that. So you could think, okay, is 2/3 equivalent to 4/6? Well, if I do 2 times 2, that is 4, and 3 times 2, that is 6. So yes, I'm on track. I've got equivalent fractions. Okay, and go back here, 1/6, and 2/6, and 3/6, and 4/6, and 5/6, and 6/6. And then right here is going to be our 7/6. Okay, we can stop there because we knew we were looking for 7/6. So I'm going to put my dot there. And that was for our friend Lena. So Lena at 7/6. Okay, so now who ran further? Farther. That's an English lesson. Farther is measurable. Who ran farther? Gary. All right. Let's check out our, bond. There we go. There we go. Oh, well, I did them both on the same line. You could do them separately. I'm sorry. Didn't see that. Now, the next part that you're going to be doing, which happens to do with our comparing and ordering fractions, is we're going to look at a couple of fractions and you are going to compare to see which one is bigger. Now, we have in our room, if you look towards the very back where there are, turn around, and where we keep our games, right above there is our fraction poster. And it looks like, bam, that. So on this fraction number line, you can use this to compare and order fractions, and it's awesome. And pretty soon you also should be able to kind of do it in your head or make equivalent fractions, use some other strategies. But this is a great strategy. So let's go back here. The bottom of this page says which number is greater. Circle the greater number in each pair. Use the fraction number lines poster or the fraction circle pieces. Here's the truth. I'm not going to have you use the circle pieces right now. If you get them out later with Mr. Hale, it's fine. But I don't really want him to have to deal with all of you getting those all out and then clean them all up. So use this handy dandy poster. Let's look. 5/8 or 9/10. So I'm going to go to my poster and we're all just going to use this. And we're going to have to remember, here's my, there we go. 5/8. I'm going to look here. Here's the eighths, and here is my 5/8. Oops, I thought that would just... Well, let me not do what I think it's going to do. That's okay. It sure looks like it should do that. Oh well, that's all right. I'm just going to use my little mouse here and show you. So here's my 5/8 right here, okay? And the other one was 9/10. So 5/8, and now I find my tenths down here, 9/10. And we see that 5/8, see that? 5/8, 9/10. 5/8 is smaller than 9/10. So when we go back to our page, we are going to circle the greater number. So we are going to circle 9/10. Okay? Let's look at our next one. We have 5/3 or 1 5/6. Okay? Let's go to our page. So 5/3 is going to be way over here. And then 1 5/6. Well, we know here's 1. And am I reading that right? Yep, 5/6. So then I'm going to find my 6, which is right here, and I'm going to count 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's my 11/6. There's my 5/3. So I know 11/6 or 1 5/6 is closer or is larger. Now, a strategy you could use is you could just turn this to a mixed number first. We could do our 6 times 1, is 6 plus 5 is 11. So we could do our 11/6 right away. Now, some of you might think about this. Just want to show you a quick strategy. If we did that, so we're going 5/3 or 11/6. Another thing we can do is we could just go, hey, I could easily turn my 5/3 into a fraction with a denominator of 6. So I'm just going to take my 3 times 2, it gives me 6. 5 times 2 gives me 10. So now I'm comparing 10/6 and 11/6. And that's pretty easy to tell. Oh, well that makes sense. 11/6 is greater. So it's another strategy for you. Some people prefer, oh my word, Mrs. Mom, it's a triple circle. Some of you prefer visual, some of you prefer just figuring it out with numbers like that. That's fine too. Okay, you are going to do, excuse me, let's do this next one. So 2 1/4, we're going to go to our poster. Now here's the deal. Our poster only goes up to 2. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to use a different strategy. So I'm going to say, all right, well, 2 1/4 would be the same thing as 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Same thing as 9/4, right? So now I want to know which is bigger, 9/4 or 20/12. So I'm thinking, how could I make 9/4 into a denominator of 12? And I go, oh, I totally know how to do that because I have these awesome teachers. So I'm going to just erase this for a second. Okay. So I am going to take then, here we go, not eraser. And I'm going to say, well, I could do 4 times 3, and that would give me 12ths. And 9 times 3 is 27. So now I have 27/12 is greater than, sorry, I hope you can read that. 27/12 is greater than or less than 20/12. Once again, pretty easy comparison. We learned how to do that in kindergarten. And we know 27 is bigger than 20. So 27/12 is greater than 20/12. Okay, last one. You know, every time I see denominators that can be easily turned into another one, like a 6 and a 12, I suggest, hey, let's just compare them that way, okay? So, and we can check ourselves on the number line. That's perfect. So 6 times 2 is 12. Then we can do 9 times 2 is 18. So 18/12 is greater than 13/12. So 9/6 should be greater than 13/12. Let's check it on the number line. 9/6, here's our 6. There's 9/6. Now if I find my 12ths, 13.